Uncle Pookie Smokers. I do sell this drum online on my website at www.unclepookiebarbecue.com, and I've got the YouTube page and the Facebook and all the good stuff. So look me up if you have any questions, anything I can help with, just let me know. I'm just going to kind of review what all comes with the standard smoker package that I do here. I do use just one single air intake and one single exhaust. This is a 2-inch pipe with the damper that goes both directions, of course, but you get this bigger pipe with a 2-inch diameter. It really helps with the airflow. My previous versions had smaller multiple pipes, and I've noticed since I've gone to this single intake and single exhaust that the airflow has much less restriction on it. When I'm seasoning one of these for my own personal use, I've seen temperatures well over 400, 450 degrees. Obviously there's no obstruction when I'm just seasoning it, but they do a great job with the single intake. I've seen some with 3, 4 multiple air intakes around the bottom and multiple around the top, and I just haven't noticed where airflow has any restriction in this design, so it works out great. It does come with a 3-inch dial thermometer. Personally, I'm not necessarily a big fan of dial thermometers. I know I've spent big bucks on some that are still inaccurate, and I've spent little bucks on some that are very accurate, and vice versa. So they have their place. A lot of customers wanted some form of visual temperature gauge on this smoker for the backyard person, just to find it easier to use, and that's what we do. So that's no problem there. Again, 2-inch exhaust on the top. The damper, of course, has nothing behind it, so it'll open and close completely. And I do have a lid hook here where you can hang the lid on one of the handles that hang while you're dealing with the meat out of the way, dealing with the racks or getting the firebox in and out. But on this design, there's also this little tab that the damper is screwed to, and I like personally to hang it on the side from that does the same thing. It basically just hangs it out of the way, but I have found that doing it that way, any condensation or any dripping that happens drips away from the cooker, whereas if I grab it and hang it by this lid hook, you'll see down here sometimes it can touch the side of the smoker, and maybe some of the grease or the drippings or the condensation from inside the lid can run down the side of the smoker. That's just my own OCD. Take it for what you will. Let me find one of my fire baskets here. Now these are a heavy duty 12 by 12 by 12 fire basket. I have the ash pan at the bottom, and I do have an open side, whereas there's like a little mini lip or a wall on 3 sides. That way you can kind of tilt it on one side, dump the ash, and you're ready to go again. It's just basically just an exit for any kind of ash or debris that you've got in the fire basket. Of course, this, like I said, is a 12 by 12. It'll hold a lot more fuel than I'll ever use in one single cook. And once it is lit, you can place it right down inside the smoker, and you are ready to cook. Also, we've got, my smoker does come with 2 cooking grates, and as you can see, I've kind of engineered a perforated pizza pan to the bottom of this bottom cooking grate, and that is used as a drip pan and also as a heat diverter. It lets the heat come through, but not direct heat. So if you do have butts or brisket or something that's got a lot of internal fat dripping down in the fire, you still will get that juice and that grease in the fire to kind of steam up, but you don't have it all just directly going straight into the fire and having basically a fire hazard or a burn situation where your meat on the bottom rack has an opportunity to burn because it's so much closer to the fire. So that's worked out really well for me at a couple of contests. It's kind of saved me there. The top cooking rack is just straight open grate. If I'm just doing a couple of racks of ribs or some pork loins or something at home, I just use the top rack. I don't worry about a heat diverter for the bottom. But if I'm doing, putting food on both racks, that again is protecting that bottom rack. And I can take the top rack out, take the meat off the bottom rack, and rotate if I need to. And again, it just kind of makes a little more even of a cook if I do have a single butt on top or something that's producing a lot of dripping, a lot of grease getting down in the fire. Again, it's a good thing for moisture, for flavor, but when it's too much at one time, you do have flare-ups that'll come and potentially burn your meat. So use that as you see fit. And again, lid fits on. Now I'm using reconditioned or environmentally friendly drums that are being repurposed. I guess that's what makes them environmentally friendly. So there are different character marks and personalities for each drum, I found. For some reason each one cooks just a little bit different. But this particular one, the lid fits great. There's no big dents or dings in this one. I got really lucky and picked up a good load of really good reconditioned drums. So anyway, that is the Uncle Pookie Smoker. When I first purchased one, you noticed on the inside we do have no lining, and that's bare metal, so there will be a little bit of superficial rust on the inside of these sometimes. What I'll do, I'll treat it like a cast iron skillet. Spray it down with some cooking spray on the inside, and I'll use that seasoning time as a test run. I'll light a fire in that fire basket, throw a couple of chunks of wood in there just to get a lot of smoke, and see what the performance is of it. I open both of those, the intake and the exhaust dampers, all the way up. And like I said, I've seen the temperatures hit 400, 450 degrees in one of these cookers when there's nothing on it. That's the time I use to kind of play with it. I'll go with wide open for a little while, maybe an hour, and see what the temperatures spike at, see where it settles down. And then maybe I'll close both down to half and see, okay, where are my temperatures now after an hour? Where do I stabilize? Do I stabilize at 250, 275, 300? And then maybe after another hour or so and I see where that's hitting, I'll just crack them both down to maybe a quarter open and see if I can sit at 225 or 200 and see what it's going to do. You find those magic marks on this smoker and you really won't ever need a fan or anything else. I still do use a air controller, a pit controller, a fan when I'm at a contest or something, just so I know I can get good sleep. I know the wind and the airflow is not ever going to be an issue when you put a fan on it. And I've got some customers that always use a fan. They don't want to have to worry about, well, I opened it just a little bit more than half or a little bit more than a quarter of the way, so I'm going to put this fan on and not have to worry about it. And that's great. That just kind of reassures someone that if they want it to sit in a certain temperature for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, they don't have to look at this thing. It's going to sit there steady with that fan controlling the airflow. So the different fans, the Gurus, are great, but for ease of use, once you learn what temperature that your smoker will sit at what opening, the fans are really not necessary. They're a luxury item. So again, this is the Uncle Pookie Smoker. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, message the video on YouTube. Anything I can help with, I'll be glad to do. Any questions you have. And then again, if you decide you want to go ahead and make a purchase, go online to the website, and if you have any questions or anything, contact me through there, and be glad to help you any way we can.